Great, thank you everyone for coming back. Hope you're suitably full of lovely coffee and food. We're going to introduce the cultural or worldview dimension of regeneration with some wonderful organizations we have present here today. So in terms of the cultural dimension, Ecovillages aim to build regenerative and diverse cultures that support people to empower and care for each other, their communities, and the planet. Many actively engage with practices that encourage people to feel deeply connected to each other, to the planet, and to themselves. Celebration, art, dance, and other forms of creative expression are often embraced as central to thriving human life and communities. Most ecovillages find their own ways to talk about, connect with, respect, and support life and the beings and systems that sustain it. So today, we have Gavin and Diana from Growing Together. We have Jonathan and Dell from the Education Circle, and Sally, and Marilyn. Gosh. We have Catherine from Interlinks, and then we have Liz and Carl from Dance North. So we're going to hand over to Gavin and Diana, but we're going to play a video first, and then you'll come and speak then. Great. Take it away.
Hello, I'm Gavin Morgan, co-CEO of Growing Together, and thank you for considering us. So we believe that all young people, regardless of poverty, poor mental health, or childhood trauma, should have a fair chance to realise their potential. And we help build their mental health, educational attainment, and life skills by connecting them to their community. So here, our main project, our Growing Together Nursery Mentoring Programme, drawn by our young people who wanted to tell us why it's so important. So this is the only programme in Scotland to build the well-being, the life skills and educational attainment of young people through the power of mentoring. One disadvantaged young person in secondary school mentoring a child in nursery or primary, both who need support and both who benefit. And the young people gain a qualification, SCQF level 4, and life skills, helping them to re-engage in education. And the child builds skills and confidence. With unlimited funds, we would expand our Growing Together Nursery programme to every local authority where young people struggle with poor mental health and poverty. So starting with Dundee, with Aberdeen, with Aberdeenshire and Murray.
Before the Growing Together programme, I really struggled with my attitude and my behaviour at school. I really struggled going to my classes and just keeping a positive attitude. But after the programme, it's kind of changed my outlook a little bit. It's made me feel more confident in myself, which has really improved my attitude. And I've started going to school a lot more and I'm really enjoying school now. So I think Growing Together has really helped me with that.
After our Growing Together Nursery Mentoring Programme, young people asked for the opportunity to further develop their mental health and their long-term life skills through the Growing Together community. This is critical to help them build relationships and to increase their sense of belonging. And Growing Together community opportunities include designing youth-led social action projects on community issues, undertaking young leaders skills training to co-deliver our projects, joining our youth leadership board. Giving young participants a voice to change the world they live in.
I am Lorelei, and I am a proud member of the Youth Participation Board. Growing Together has been a vital support in my journey, while guiding me through the nursery's mentoring programme and engaging me in various different community projects. I want to give you all a massive thank you for being a crucial part in my life, but also the life of so many other young people. Your commitment has made a real difference.
The impact we have on young people's lives is evident. By using positive psychology, we help show young people who they are and who they can become, so that they can re-engage in school and a future that they deserve. We simply give them the tools and self-belief that they need to find their way. And together, with your funding and our experience, we have the power to give young people a long-term pathway and improve their mental and emotional well-being.
Hello, mic is on. It's a privilege to be here. And I'm Diana Whitmore, and this is my esteemed co-CEO, Gavin Morgan. And Growing Together's been in the Highlands, or in Scotland, since 2016. And it was obvious, I think, from the film that our mission is to show young people how precious they are and how much they have to contribute to the world. And we've worked with 2,200 young people to date. And finally, we're in Moray. It's taken us all this time, but now we're in Forres Academy, Elgin Academy, and Elgin High School, that's kind of a triumph for us because it's taken us a long time to get here. So we're an early intervention program, and we do target 2 sets of vulnerable children. And it's actually counterintuitive to think if you put 2 sets of vulnerable children together, you'll have a positive outcome. But it works, it works. And our dream is to have young people, as you saw, through this whole series of programs with us. The longer we have them, the more solid the changes in their lives are integrated. So Gavin's going to talk to you a little bit about our funding and
Yeah, no, I think 2 little things, Diana, thank you. And there's something really powerful. The voice of young people from our nursery program, they didn't want the program or their experience or their journey to finish. So there's something powerful about when those young teenagers are struggling in their life, we're asking them to dig deep and turn this way and help support a young child that's often struggling as well. And then after that program, they say, we want more. And then they turn this way and they go into their community and they create a community consultation, find out what the community needs. And through the budget, they deliver a youth social action project, and then they can be involved in our youth leadership board. Very exciting.
I want to give you some examples of the youth social action projects that the wonderful Dawn over there is managing. Our young people have chosen courageously what topics programs they create for their local community. They've worked with self-harming, they've worked with teenage pregnancy, domestic violence, mental health, drugs and alcohol, bullying, you name it. They are incredibly courageous, and they want to change their world, definitely.
Just to close with 2 things, we have been really amazed at how successful it's been inviting pupils, young people from different schools across Murray and Highland. So the furthest away was Allness and Tain academies, coming down to this beautiful and amazing community. And Marit, one of our amazing facilitators, and you'll know her well from the community, she really loved being able to take them to Craig's barrel house and show these young people an experience that is very unique and unusual for them. But the young people have loved getting curious about what this community stands for and the diversity that it gives. And we think that's something really we should do more of. Let's bring more young people here, get them curious, get them excited. So I want to finish, Diana and I want to finish just by saying a huge thank you to the community for these types of events, because so many of you have got involved to help young people from different areas of Highland and Murray come together and visit. And we had a Ceilidh, was it almost a year and a half ago now, and we'd love to do another one and bring more of those young people here for a celebration event. But this wouldn't be possible in Murray because we wanted to start without the help from Newbold Legacy Trust and also from the Murray Local Action Fund as well. They're the 2 key funders, and it was Newbold Legacy Trust that believed in us enough to help us have the funding to start an Elgin Academy and Forres Academy. So for David, for Anne, for Lisa, and anyone else from Newbold Legacy Trust, thank you so much. Also to TSI Murray, because they are the anchor group that holds so many of us together. And I think Jonathan and Facile said it so well, in the ecosystem that we are as individuals and as organizations, the more we can work together to support what we believe in and the different elements and dimensions, the more we're going to thrive in our communities. So.
And one more thank you. One more thank you. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the generosity and the kindness of Ecovillage Youth Trust, who gave us a home to start with until we're big enough to become ourselves again. So deep gratitude goes to Liza and EYT. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So Marilyn back again, but this time I'm wearing the hat for the Education Circle. And I just wanted to say, when we started this year, we were wondering how education would be able to rise from our phoenix ashes as we lost the foundation. And a group of people came together very quickly in January and named themselves the Education Circle. And I think that this group really demonstrates the amount of self-organizing initiative that we have in the community that generates economies of all kinds. But I think we have the tradition and the history that the education, especially community-based education, is a key central stream of the economy of the community. So that's what I wanted to say to start with, and then I'm going to hand it over to Sally and the rest of the Education Circle. Sally Bogali, with Gaia Education.
Thank you. I'll just push the slide forward. So the question, who are we? This is a group in constant flux, sometimes growing, sometimes shrinking, depending on what's happening. So it's something that's very open to anybody. For the moment, examples are Tessa is here from Ecovillage Findhorn. We've had Mary Ingalls comes along regularly for Inner Links and her own programs. We
Try this one instead. Battery's gone dead.
Thank you. Me representing Gaia Education. I could go on and on. These are just a few people. Patrick representing the NFA. These are just a few people all coming together naturally to say we all want to provide education programs. We want to work together to build this up. And yeah, just please, if you're interested, do come along, but more about that later.
Okay. So what are we? We meet, I'm actually the current chair. I just, I gate crashed once and then I became chair. I don't know how, but I think it's extremely important in our community. And we're an open and welcoming think tank and an enabler of emergent education within this community. And we meet once a month and our focus, you know, we focus on the creativity and potential within this community of actually bringing what we do here out into the world, but also to ourselves, educational programs within this community through maybe COI Fund, developing self-directed programs that way. And we, you know, I think it's important that we collect information, and that you'll hear about that from Dell there. We've done some surveys here about what we have available and what we can give here. So over to you, Sally.
Yeah, so to give you a brief history, there was a community call for ideas for working groups in July 2023. That's how we started. Gail Shaw was initially hosting, but she was going away to Oroville. Jonathan says he gate crashed. He basically turned up and was very willing, and the group really appreciated it. And, you know, it's... Patrick from the NFA is there. Tessa's just started coming along. Andrew from the Findhorn Foundation is coming, and we're slowly building up to see what we can be. And we're part of the NFA. We're within the NFA, but it's very fluid and very emergent. So it's very much a lovely thing to be part of. I think I've covered all of that page. Yeah.
Yeah, so some of the things that we're involved in right now, whether we like it or not, we are a brand. Okay, we're not the Findhorn Foundation, but we as a community are a brand, and it's important that there are certain standards of the courses that go that we put on. This is, again, the word is emergent. We're definitely just starting with this, and actually come away from these meetings in an extremely positive mood because there is so much bubbling up within our community. The idea of endorsement for the education circle to actually endorse the programs that are put onto the website, and we'll talk about the website in a minute. There was there's a curriculum survey that is. There's a curriculum survey that is going on. Just, yes, what sort of education do we want? Do we want to do similar to the Findhorn Foundation? Well, actually, there's some questions there. What sort of education do we want to actually focus on here within this community? Getting the word out is extremely important, and Del's going to tell you a little bit more about the Visit Ecovillage Findhorn website. Absolutely important as the mechanism to spread the word there. And she'll also talk about research of the current facilities that we have to support education. And we're toying with the idea of an education role as a vocalizer of that. And yeah, looking at to get more and more of you involved in what's happening here. Dale, over to you.
Hello, everyone. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what has already been happening, and so much, even without the foundation, so much has been unfolding. These were community orientation days, nature training weekends with Roy. Robert and Holly Holden held something here earlier this year. That was 44 guests who were accommodated and fed. Lots of different things happening with the Hinterland Trust. And then most recently, there was a 2-week permaculture course that in the past has been held by the foundation. This time was hosted by Gaia Education. And obviously and that's not counting Dance North, the Festival of Sacred Dance and Music, all the other things that are unfolding here. So there is a lot already happening. And solutions have been found around how to feed people and how to accommodate them. The Kate and the cafe has been brilliant to accommodate and come up with different ways of doing things. We've used La Boheme. There are various caterers that are stepping up, and that's creating new businesses. Creative solutions, potluck lunches for a course. And this was a packed lunch where people, the permaculture group, made their own packed lunch on a day visit. So that's what's already been happening now, but what about next year? The Cologne House shareholders have commissioned some research into what is the potential for next year. And there was a survey of 45 focalizers who were anticipating holding things here next year. And just over half responded. And the result was around 309, obviously this is going to be fluid, but 309 workshop days next year. This is without any kind of formal organizing. Also part of the research that Cologne House commissioned was what actually do we have here? And this was to do with where could Cologne House be positioned as a workshop hub, but obviously it was an incredible service to us as the community to find out actually what do we have. We have a lot of accommodation existing already. We have good meeting venues. There's probably space for more there. And we have food opportunities. The little stars lurking over there are the caterers, the potential caterers that can be brought in. So we already have quite a lot of infrastructure. And this was an interesting one. If every single bed we have here is filled, that means a twin room, 2 people, a double room, 2 people, we can accommodate 81 people. And that's not counting, it's including the holiday park, but not the caravans and not campers. So that's quite a lot of people already, which is very good news. But nothing is going to happen really next year unless we can get the word out and correct this idea that still lurks outside that Findhorn is closed. Oh, is that 10? So please come downstairs to the LPP group. We've got a table for the education circle where you can sign up for this website. This is Visit Ecovillage Findhorn. It falls under the NFA, and it's the start of us as a community, as a single entity, being able to talk to the world. So please sign up. It links to all the other organizations in the community. EF, we're also canvassing for people to sign up there to support the buyout. We can also talk about how we've got quite an interesting website ecosystem now. If you come downstairs, we can look at that and talk through that at the moment, and hopefully in time, this will all shrink together and become a more cohesive ecosystem. But right now, the different sites have very specific audiences that do overlap.
Okay, just do come and see us after this presentation here downstairs, and bring your creative ideas, and definitely sign up to the website and promote that website.
Please, join up to the mailing list, which will then be able for the whole community to use. It's not just for the NFA or EF. The database will be a mailing list for us all to use. List your events if you're planning to hold something. List your organizations if it's not already there, and list yourselves. The point of this website is to show us as a really compelling place to be, full of interesting people. So please sign up and list your own talents as well. There's some very, very cool people here. Just look. Thank you.
Do you want to hold it, or do you want to? I'll hold it, and which one do I press to move me on?
Just this one here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Catherine, and I'm here to represent Innerlinks Associates and the Transformation Game. So the first thing I want to say, for many people do know the game, but there are quite a lot of people living in the community now who haven't really had an opportunity to come across it. So I'll start with that. What's it all about? It's an aid basically to navigating the complexities of our life. Well, that's one way to describe it. Life, sometimes filled with blessings, inspirations, and so on, sometimes full of challenges, pain, setbacks, sometimes even depression and isolation. Sometimes we feel really connected, can offer service, receive service, even miracles, realize new directions, feel transformed. And so just as in life, so is what the game offers. It's a playful, complex board game offered as workshops and in many versions. Experiencing playing the game. So what you do when you're playing the game is you hold in mind or create a purpose or a focus. And then I'll talk about the different versions in a moment, but essentially you then do some preparation for playing, and you choose a guardian angel or a special quality to work and support you. And then you start in the sanctuary, which is a bit like in life. We might have different ideas about how we get ready to be born, but we then roll the dice and we get incarnated, or we're born onto a path. And we roll the dice and we have various experiences. And those experiences can take us onto different levels. As in life, we have a physical level, emotional level, mental, love, spiritual. And so we discover with this focus whether we are more aware of and working with our physicality, or we might need to bring some more of our emotional side or our mental side, and so forth. We land on experiences. There's a whole range of those, such as discovering what works for us, our intuition. We can look at how we use our free will. Are we forceful, maybe? Are we using our free will well? Are we sometimes shrinking back from activating choices in our lives, understanding the challenges, seeing what helps, those are called insights, and also we interact with our fellow players and have a context that helps us to understand better how we're working with our, whatever it is that we are investigating or focusing on. And it's an incredibly inspiring and connective and helpful process where it's a bit like standing a little bit back from your life as you play your life and discovering an awful lot about how you can take yourself forward and change things, transform things. So how did it all start? It was developed in the community, so it's very much a tool of and arises out of the community. In the 70s, Joy Drake was living here and was inspired to, what she says, recreate the Findhorn experience. She had this idea of trying to distill everything that happens as you live in community and in a community like this into a kind of an essence of an educational experience where we could view the whole of life as our learning. Many devoted community members helped to develop it, to brainstorm, to create the cards, to practice things. They would rush around into rooms in Cluny looking at different cards, testing them out. Joy would sit in community meetings and colour in different cards to create this original form, which we've got an example there. All hand-drawn, all handmade, and played by the community members. Kathy Tyler came and joined, she came to the community in those, during the late 70s, I think, early 80s. And at some point in 1985, Kathy and Joy moved to, I hope this is right, Kathy, moved to the States, where they wanted to then continue to develop the game and game products and the commercial version. And they formed Innerlinks Associates Consulting and Training Company. So what are the different versions of the game? There's the Game of Transformation, the original version, which was originally called the Game of Life. An in-depth, I'll be very quick now. So that's an in-depth experience, very colourful, played as a workshop over 5 days. There's a planetary game version, which some of us are really blessed to have participated in, which is like a life-size version, which is very much a group version and very interconnective, very helpful as a community or as a world group. The Transformation box game is the commercial version that you can buy in a box, which we've got some to have a look at there. You can use the rules that come with it and play on your own or with families and friends. There's an advanced box game version, which you have facilitators to help you in a shorter, like a day-long game, facilitated game. There's a solo game version where you can work with one-to-one. There are group game versions, different types of team versions, and then there's the business game version, which is called Frameworks for Change, an organizational version, and the Frameworks for Change coaching process. There are facilitator trainings, which happen here and around the world. There are hubs now around the world, which is what we're trying to seed and develop at the moment. Many of these cards, which you're very familiar with, the angel cards, blessings, intuitive solutions, they all come from the game. Play with family and friends. Game and game products can be purchased at the Phoenix. They can also be purchased at various sources online. If you just Google them, you can find various sources if the Phoenix doesn't have them. And where do you find more information? Please do visit transformationgamefindhorn.com or innerlinks.com. Facebook, the Facebook page is transformationgame/innerlinks, and then you can email the Innerlinks office, which is here on the park. Thank you all so much.
Take the clicker from you. Thanks. Just the arrow.
What do I do?
The arrow on that side when you want to change. Do you want it in here? Or do you want to hold it?
Well, we're different heights.
We are.
Hi, I'm Carl, and I'm the creative director of Dance North, and this is my wife in work,
Liz, and I'm also a director of Dance North.
So we're executive directors of Dance North. We've been working together for a long, long time. And so Dance North is, Liz is going to click. So we've got a number of images up Liz is going to click through, which gives you an indication, an idea of the activity that we engaged in. But we're also going to focus a little bit in our presentation on why we do it and how we do what we do. And this is a bit of an improvisational approach, working from our business plan, which actually is something that's available to anyone who would like to have a look. Dance North's been in existence for about 20 years. And we started off as Body Surf Scotland. We incorporated in whenever 20 years ago was, 2002, 3. And before that, we were Body Surf Scotland. Some of you might know us from that. We have 7 people, we employ 7 people, and we're Murray's only regularly funded, core funded organisation from Creative Scotland. I want to say that our business plan, and really in this little presentation, is it's a reflection of the confidence that we hold in our bold, caring, collaborative, creative, and what we think is quite a progressive approach to our work. And as much we want to focus as much, also say, on how we do things and why we do things as much as on what we do. So these slides give you an indication of the kind of things we do. So we have different aspects to our program. We have our performance program, which centers around Rise, which is our annual festival, which happens in May, in venues such as this hall and in other venues indoors and outdoors in the area. We have a participation program, as we call it, which is our series of dance classes, year-round program of dance classes and activity out in the community. So it's across Murray and into the Highlands, and we do dance classes for children, for young people, for older people. We have for Dance for Parkinson's, of which some members of the community teach in. And we also have a program of artist development. So we support professional artists from Murray in the Highlands and across Scotland through residencies, through bespoke packages of support. We're also engaged in what we call about sector development. So we have a role in sector development both locally within the arts and cultural sector in Murray, across Scotland, but also internationally. And I just sort of seen this image here is from a dance company from Mexico, who many of you might have got to see a couple of years ago. Is that Dance North, we're rooted here in the community. It was founded on the belief that the local facilities here and the environment, the built environment and the natural environment would provide a really excellent and rewarding context for which to present what we believe is a transformational contemporary dance. And while having a local significance, we also have this, we have a quite a significant international profile, which sometimes is not so visible from here within the community. So I just wanted to say that we have the way that we organize our approach to business, if you like, is through organizing in 6 stated aims. 4 of those aims focus on what we do, of which some of this is an indication, which is our performance program, our participation program, which is the classes, and our professional development. And 2 of those aims are focusing on how we do things. And this is what I just want to highlight now. So, and I'll also be really honest, and within this is a little provocation for the rest, for all of us within this community, to perhaps look at where we can up our game. So, and the 6 aims that we have, we don't, even though they're numbered 1 to 6, we don't present them in a particular order. Dry mouth. One of the aims which I want to draw attention to is that we have a very firm commitment to fair work and what we call a rhizomatic approach to working. Rhizomatic mycelium, we draw on images and models from nature to explore non-hierarchical ways of working. So we're interested in collaboration, we're interested in partnership, we're interested in investigating ways of working together as an organization, but with our partners, which are less hierarchical. And within that, sort of fair work is something which is really important to us. It's about taking care of each other within an organization. It's about providing maximum flexibility in working conditions, and importantly, it's about paying fairly. As an arts organisation, we have one of the, what would you say, narrowest...
We've got a narrow gap between highest paid and lowest paid within Murray in our sector. We also employ different versions of Fair Work. We also, we have flexible working policies, and we have a transparent working system where all our documents, all our budgets are open to every single person in the organisation, out with statutory HR stuff. Everybody gets to have a say on absolutely everything. We don't have a CEO. We do have agency in our work. We also believe that how we do it is as important as what we do. So we're not in this to have an output, we're in it to work how we want to work, which is fairly and with, with complete honesty and transparency, I think. And that's the most important to us. We also seek to influence policy. So we work with Scots government, and we're on working groups with Westminster government to look at this area of how we can better, and so we seek to influence policy, but we also use our voice politically as well when we need to.
And I think this has, our vision statement is about creating opportunities for transformational contemporary dance, and it would feel like a real contradiction to us if we were focusing on the transformational nature of the activity, if we weren't focusing equally on how we were doing things. Just wanted to, I know that the dingo's gone. A little cute picture of a dog. So it's reading so fast that I would now lost my place. I think I just want to come back to this thing, is that we don't always get it right. We are willing to accept and own up to when we make mistakes. It's a live process. One of the things about drawing from nature, from this model from nature of the rhizome or the mycelium, is it's something that is continually evolving. One of the wonderful things about rhizomes is that the nodes die off when they're no longer needed, and the connections between things within an ecosystem can shrivel and die when they're no longer relevant, but that new pathways can open up and grow. And that is something that we try and practice in our activity. Here's some of our, not all of our team, but some of our team. We have members of staff who live here in the community. We have people who live in Inverness. We have someone down in Glasgow. We're going to be around. We're a dance organisation. We're not rooted in any table, but we're milling about, upstairs, downstairs, and definitely in the cafe. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Great, let's give another round of applause to our participants. Besides, personally, I've just joined the education circle, so I'm excited to see what we can develop there. And I've also have the honor of having worked with Growing Together and their amazing program with young people, bringing them to our Ecovillage. And it's just been such an incredible joy to see the spark in their eyes as they start to realize this is happening in Scotland, these eco-villages. What can I be a part of? What interests me? And you just see these little ideas and the passion start developing in them as they come into contact with Ecovillage and community and seeing it happening right here on their own soil. And it's great for you to be a part of our village. So thank you so much.